What's good, guys? This is ShZa, and today I want to talk about Multiversus because the closed alpha is almost upon us. It's almost time, and I really just wanted to share my thoughts on the game, especially since I actually got into the closed tech test. You know, for at least the last closed tech test that happened. So I actually have some thoughts about how the game plays and everything since I've actually touched the game myself. So I can give you, guys, my thoughts. I guess what to expect going into the beta, and yeah, I guess that's just most of the stuff I'm gonna be talking about. I've recorded this video I think like 5 times because I want to make sure I am as unbiased as possible. I don't want to sound too positive. I don't want to sound too negative. I want to just give like a neutral take because I'm talking about a closed alpha. So yeah, there is that. So I'm just hoping that this video I could actually display like my thoughts properly. Because I have a lot of thoughts about how the game is right now. But okay, first I'll just get into, the way I'll structure this is what I like, what I'm okay about, and what I dislike. So, first I'll start about what I like. I think a really good part about this game has to be its visuals. There's a lot of good animations in this game. You can even see it even in stuff like promotional material, like the new cinematic trailer they had, which had insane animation. Which is it really seems like Warner Brothers is really dumping their entire budget into this game, and it's actually I'm actually really happy that they actually spent the time to get some good visuals for this game. Like the backgrounds, the stages look really good, the characters look really good. I know in terms of character animations, I really like how Bugs Bunny animates in this game. Very expressive, very squash and stretchy, just like old Warner Brothers stuff. I know similar to that, Tom and Jerry also has that kind of feel. Which I really like how they were able to capture that, almost classic Warner Brothers style of animation with 3D and everything. I think it's pretty nice. And other characters animate pretty well. I know I heard a lot of people talking about this as people were watching gameplay, but I didn't feel it as much while playing it. But I think some people were saying that hits don't have enough impact. I could see that on some things, but I think certain characters have better impact than others. Let's say Harley Quinn's hammer, when you do her a neutral air hammer, that I feel like that has a good amount of impact. It's just you don't really have the same type of hit stop, and I think of course in terms of feeling the impact of moves, I think Smash does that better. But that's Smash. They've been doing it for a long time. A lot of these animations have been worked on for ages. If you even go back, a lot of Smash animations that are used now are similar to what they used in the past. Maybe slightly tweaked, back when they were revealing Smash, they showed how Donkey Kong now has different expressions, just minor stuff like that you wouldn't really get normally, in a normal platform fighter. But who knows, maybe they might go back. It seems like these developers really care about what they're doing. So yeah, I do like the visuals. I like the free-to-play model that they have at the moment because it doesn't feel too grindy. I think it's always a weird thing where it's I'm not a fan of having to buy characters separately. And it doesn't really feel like you have to do that as much. You could just play the game and unlock characters. But I also have to state that this is not gonna always stand true, most likely, because it's a free-to-play game. And as more characters become come to the game, things are gonna get harder to unlock. So that means it's just gonna be harder to get characters later on, naturally, because they need to find a way to get you to pay money anyways. So let's say the events that were usually giving you a whole bunch of money to get your characters so that you can get your characters in 3 matches, now that is gonna start taking a couple 3 days to unlock. So at least that's just a part of the free-to-play model, though. It doesn't feel that bad. At least I am glad it doesn't feel that bad. And I guess also another thing about the free-to-play model is I think the battle pass is pretty decent. It's just a normal battle pass. It's nothing really any special, but I just like how unlocking it, unlocking stuff in it doesn't feel that bad. Most unlocking stuff and getting achievements in this game doesn't feel very, very hard. Especially the early achievements. The early achievements in the game are oh, do 3 matches or do stuff, and then you get a whole bunch of money, which I don't think is always gonna stand true. You could tell with that how the money economy works in this game. that it's definitely going to increase over time. It's going to get harder and harder to lock stuff over time, so I definitely say that, or like, let's say the newer characters might cost more money, and stuff like that. It's just what happens in free-to-play games, like Paladins, like every game, like even Brawlhalla, like, you're just going to have to deal with that, but I do like how it's not too grindy, and I guess that's all I have to say for the stuff I really like about this game. Now the stuff I'm okay about with this game. I'm okay about like the netcode at the moment, but it's a tech test, so I'm not gonna be too harsh on it. It's like it wasn't even like in a proper alpha, so I do think eventually like the netcode will become really good. But yeah, from what I played, it was very jittery, but yeah, I'm not like I can't like, I don't know why, like you shouldn't really comment too much on that because it's a tech test. And I think some stuff I'm okay about as well is the music. The music, I like how there's like a lot of references to the past series, but also it doesn't feel like a lot of the music fits for a fight. I do like the Bat Cove theme. Like I think that works, but like other themes, it just feels like stuff is just in the background. Or maybe I just think that the Bat Cove theme isn't in the background because of my previous experience with the Batman series and like and stuff like that. Damn, I realized I got this. Yeah, I'm trying not to do any cuts in this. I was gonna make an edited video, but I decided just to do no cuts. Just want to get my raw thoughts out there. So yeah, I think those are like all the things I'm okay about. So I got the music, yeah, and stuff like that. Okay. So now I'm gonna touch up on some things I'm a bit concerned about going into this game. So I guess first I want to talk about I'll talk about the UI stuff because that's an easy thing to like. They've technically already have fixed a lot of the issues I'm about to speak about because, you know, you have the option to change it. My whole argument is that some of these things shouldn't be in here to begin with. Like the UI, the default UI for the game, I think is just not good. Having the percent under the characters makes it really hard for not only the spectators to watch, but for the players itself. And I think it always should be at the bottom. Like in this game, you could set it to on the characters or at the bottom, like a normal platform fighter. I think it always should either just be at the bottom or the top. Just always be like that, because it just makes it very strange in a way. So yeah, I'm a bit iffy on that, honestly. I know another thing I'm not too excited about in this game is, I guess, the stock system for 2v2s. So, you know, this game revolves around 2v2s. I would even argue that, like, this game was purely designed around 2v2s, and I'll say later why that's why it feels like the 1v1s are lacking in this game. But yeah, I'd say the stock system in 2v2s, the way it works is that your team collectively has about like 4 stocks or so, like that. Like it's like 3 or 4 stocks, but that's your like team collectively. So let's say if you have one person playing bad on your team, they can die about 3 times. You die once and y'all lose, which I guess it's cool to encourage, you know, making sure your teammates are good. But I think it makes a problem where it's like, it makes it frustrating to solo queue and co-op, because it would feel like sometimes you would just lose matches because your partner's bad. And also, and the thing is that I think the normal stock system actually creates like more exciting moments. Like, you know, think of the wombo combo moment where, you know, you had 2 people, you know, comboing one person. Or we've seen, like, it's very rare, but we've seen a few 1v2 comebacks, which is pretty interesting. Like, honestly, I think they could have made that like a mechanic. Like, they could have made it so like, oh, maybe you get a buff when there's one person to like encourage 1v2 comebacks. They could have done something more interesting like that, because it doesn't feel like this way creates many hype moments. I just don't think it works. It feels like matches end abruptly, because it's not like you really finished your opponent. It's just whoever got the more kills. And the one thing I will admit, though, I have not checked the private like match function, so I don't know if this is different in private matches. Like, I don't know if you actually could get stocks in private matches, but at least the 2v2 system for like public matches, for like normal queue, I don't like it. I think they should just go back. Like, it's a simple case of it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, I think the normal stock system works and it's very entertaining. That was something I was the most hyped about going into this game, that we would have like that, you know, it would be like 2v2 matches, but I think this doesn't, like, it doesn't work in many ways. Okay, but anyways, so yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I think another problem I have with this game is the movement. The movement in this game feels very awkward. Very awkward and honestly floaty at times. The characters move fast, but it feels like their fall speed is very slow. And they have a lot of aerial drift. So it's almost like you're playing Jigglypuff with every character, except a little bit faster. And the way the fast falls work in this game are, like, I do not like it. Another case, once again, of if it's not broke, don't fix it. I get they're trying to make changes and try to do their own innovations, but I think there's a reason why no other game tried to change fast falls, because... Okay, let me just explain to people that haven't played the game what, you know, fast falls are like in this game. But okay, so the way fast falls work in this game is that you have to hold down to fast fall in this game. Like, you're falling at your normal speed, and then when you hold down, you're actually falling at your your fast fall speed. But if you stop holding down, you go back to your normal fall speed. And I think the intention in this was to make it so that you can mix up your movement a lot. Like, let's say if you're trying to recover, you could fast fall and then stop and then fast fall again. Like, make it really tricky for someone to edge guard you. Or it can make situations where you can, like, do some tricky movement on stage. But I don't think this feels satisfying at all, and it makes some things that feel very simple in other games, not just Smash Bros, but other games like Rivals, like even like Brawlhalla. It just feels, it just makes it feel very tedious to do. Like, let's say doing a fast fall, neutral air, or up air, because when you do an aerial while fast falling in this game, even like, let's say even if you're holding, like, if you're still holding down, like, let's say if you're doing a fast fall down air, you will still stop your momentum because attacks, I guess, could cancel out all fast fall momentum, and it makes you return to your normal fall. Not even just your normal fall, but like it almost like stops you in the air for a lot of attacks. Like, let's say if you're trying to do a falling Tom and Jerry down air, it feels like you'd jump, you'd short hop, and then you'd fast fall down, and like you'd stop to do your down air attack, which doesn't make it feel very fluid at all. Almost like you're stopping your momentum, so that it feels like this. It makes it feel everything that, like, it doesn't have enough, like, a feel of gravity or weight. It makes it feel like almost like you're flying all the time, and I don't know, it does not feel right. It doesn't feel intuitive, and yes, I do know that you could change the input from being hold to the normal tap, but it doesn't change how, you know, how aerials work in this game. It still stops your momentum. Even if you tap down, it'll still stop your momentum. And it's honestly less optimal. Like, I wouldn't even recommend using the tap option, because now you don't have the option to, like, you know, change your movement a little bit. Because now you're stuck fast falling when you press down, and then you still get the bad parts, like, oh, when you do an aerial, you stop. So yeah, it is. I think it's very weird. I think at least if they're not gonna change the whole hold down to fast fall, at least make it so that when you do aerials, you're still falling at the fast fall speed. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of that. I guess another thought I have about this game is the untech time and attack decay. This is something I really don't like about this game. The attack decay in this game, I feel, is way too harsh. I get the reason, but I do think it's way too harsh. At the moment, like, it feels like you just do a couple attacks and you're already at max attack decay. And, okay. Well, I guess we don't call this in other Smash games, if you might not be knowing what I'm talking about, but I'm basically talking about staling moves. So, you already know how staling moves in a game works. You do an attack multiple times, it gets weaker to prevent you from, like, infiniting people. In this game, the way staling works is that... Actually, no. One thing I do like is that there's an indicator that shows you, like, how stale your move is. Like, if it's a small attack decay symbol while you do an attack, that means your attack is starting to get weaker. Then if it's a large one, it means you're at max decay. Which is, I do like that. But, yeah, the way it works in this game is that not only your attacks get weaker, but it also do less stun time. So now combos that would have previously worked before do not work now. because your move is super stale. And the way that, like, I swear I do matches where I do an attack like maybe 4 times on the opponent, and it feels like it's already decaying. It's already like almost at max decay, which is kind of insane. And it feels like if you feel it too much, and I think it almost in a way that it might even like deter like even like people like casuals in a way, because I think it stales too hard. And you know, there's a lot of characters that you'd want to do a certain attack a lot in neutral, but you can't do that attack a lot in neutral because staling is so harsh in this game that if you're at max attack decay, that move is useless. It's not like a Smash Bros where it's like you could still do it, or like any other fighting game that you could still do it. It's just weaker and it's not as optimal. It feels like when you're at max attack decay in this game, the attack is useless. You shouldn't be using it at all, because an opponent will be able to air dodge out of it like instantly, and you can't get any combos. There's no damage. There's no knockback. And yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of how attack decay works in this game, honestly. So, and then that in combination with my next point, the untech time, which is, I guess, you know, the stun, the hit stun, basically. The time that you get to before you're able to air dodge in this game, I think is way too harsh. You could be doing combos. Like, with certain characters, I think this really hurts because some characters almost feels like they have no combos. Like, I labbed a lot in this game. I went to the training mode a lot, and I faced a lot of different people, and I could say that the way the untech time works in this game is that it's way faster than you'd think. Even if you look at combos, like, let's say, we might see some people making combo videos, but honestly, I think a lot of combo videos, at least in the very early stage of this game, will be a lot of people doing like fake combos. Because there's a lot of combos in this game that look true but aren't. Like, let's say Tom and Jerry's like up tilt down air to up air. That is not true. At least, like, I think the most you could get with Tom and Jerry is like if you could get a strong up tilt to up air, but you have to hit all of like the paddle moves, and you have to cancel at the very right time, or else they could air dodge. And then on top of that, if the move has even a little bit of attack decay, it doesn't work. And yeah, it just feels like a lot of things just don't work. But there are characters that do have combos, like let's say Harley Quinn, Batman. I heard Arya Stark. I didn't really play too much of Arya Stark, but I know Batman and Harley Quinn do have combos. But I think it really feels like some characters actually like get to have fun in this game, while some characters I really don't. Like, I played a lot of Tom and Jerry in the beta, but honestly, it wasn't really that fun, and I ended up more gravitating towards Harley Quinn. Although, you know, Tom and Jerry was a lot, I think, like really, really good. I think Harley Quinn, I felt like the reason why I liked Harley Quinn and characters like Batman is because they had more depth in their moveset. It felt like Tom and Jerry, the only depth that there was in their moveset was the fact that they could have some team mechanics, and Jerry has a little bit of special mechanics. But even at that, he doesn't work like an Ice Climber, he works more like a Rosalina Luma, or even a Banjo-Kazooie, or even an Olimar. Like, in a way, Jerry actually works like an advanced Pikmin in a way. Because, like, you'd shoot him out, and then he has a little bit of special properties. Because that's basically how Jerry works in this game, so. Yeah, I honestly think it's kind of like an Olimar, in a way. But yeah, that's some of my thoughts on the characters, but I think the untech time, or like the hit stun, is just kind of, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it at the moment. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe people will find ways to do more true combos with a lot of characters. Like, especially once more of the public get their hands on it and like more labbers get on it. But yeah, from my experience, it feels like you could air dodge out of things way too quickly, especially with attack decay, where your attack's basically rendered useless. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan on that. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I know another problem I have is with the defensive options in this game. Mainly that our only defensive option is air dodge, which I wouldn't say is weak. I wouldn't say the defensive options are weak in this game, because that air dodge is very strong. Like, most things you could get out with an air dodge. And it's not like your air dodge puts you in that much stun if you're like spamming it. So yeah, it is very strange. Like, I think the way like that, it's all you have is your air dodge, which I guess it's similar to Brawl Hall in a way, but I think coupled with the movement and everything, I just wish that we had a bit more defensive options. Like I think in 2v2s this is a bit better because there are some characters that can have like certain defensive options, or like let's say you'd have characters that could shield everybody, that could give everybody a bit more guard. But yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan on that, and I guess, yeah, so the way the game works is like, I think the only defensive options are the air dodge, and some characters have a guard crush. But honestly, those guard crushes only work in very certain situations, because only certain characters even have a guard to begin with, like some semblance of shield. And that usually is only like available in 2v2. In 1v1, is like, but some characters, some mechanics aren't even available. So I do think they should actually like work that out and just give us more options, give us more defensive options. I want it to be more dynamic. Yes, defense isn't necessarily bad in this, like in terms of balance wise, it isn't bad, but it feels very linear. It feels like your option for everything should be air dodge. And before you say, oh, you could bait the air dodge, the way the air dodge works when you're doing a combo in this game is that if you air dodge like near the time that they attack you, your air dodge goes very far, so you're not gonna be able to catch them. You're doing a combo, you're not catching them. So you can't really bait air dodges too much in this game. Like, air dodges are very safe, and especially since you can do 2 of them in the air, it's pretty damn safe. But yeah, I think it's that. It's just a lot of things together in this game overall, in terms of gameplay, just makes me unsatisfied. Even ground movement, where ground movement feels kind of linear in a way too, and feels kind of slow with certain characters, like Tom and Jerry, and I think even Superman. I get how they're trying to do the heavy thing, but I think Superman on the ground feels a little too slow. Especially in a platform fighter where you want to be moving throughout the stage a lot. I think a lot of the things with the movement, how the combos work in this game, everything, it just makes it for, like, I think especially in 1v1, these issues, like, they're a lot more, like, prevalent in 1v1. In 2v2s, a lot of this stuff, you could actually, like, you could get past a lot of this stuff in a way, but in 1v1s, it feels like this is, like, it's really shining flaws, for me, at least. Like I think just core flaws that it almost makes me think that, like it's not even, like, a good 1v1 game at all. Like, it doesn't. I much rather play 1v1 in other games. And honestly, in 2v2s in this game, because of how 2v2s work in the stock system, I'd rather play 2v2s in other games as well. Like, I don't know at the moment who the target audience is for this game, because I feel like there's a lot of other games that do a lot of this stuff better on the market. I do like how characters have tag team mechanics, but honestly, doing 2v2s feels way more satisfying in almost every other game I've played. And I've played a lot of platform fighters, but that's just my thoughts. That's basically a summary of a lot of my thoughts. I think right now, going into this closed alpha, I'm a bit iffy, I'm a bit lukewarm on this game so far, but I don't want to make this seem too negative. I at least want to give the developers their flowers for, like, yo, they're supporting the community, yo, 100k prize pot for Evo, which is insane. The cinematic trailer that they had was amazing. The visuals in this game is amazing. The good free-to-play, like, element to this game. And I think free-to-play is definitely gonna help this game survive. Because honestly, I do think if this game wasn't free-to-play, that it might drop off the same way that a lot of other platform fighters do, even with the characters, because I do think that this gameplay might be a little polarizing for some people. Some people will either really like this or really not. Like, I think if you like Brawlhalla, you're gonna like this game. But also, even at that, in my opinion, I'd rather play Brawlhalla. But this is just an early version of the game. The game might improve a lot up to the point where I'm like, okay, I'd rather play this. We'll have to see how the developers change. But I just want to make this video. I think this is needed because I think most of the discussion around Multiverse right now is like an echo chamber of positive feedback, which I think we also have to have a little bit of negative. We have to balance it out with some of the negative and the positive as well. I think if everything's just an echo chamber of, yeah, this is good, this is amazing, this is the greatest game God has ever created, then yeah, I don't think that they'll change too much. And we've seen the track record of how much they actually want to improve this game and how much they want to make this game good. They have changed a lot of things. Like, let's say, Steven's visuals. Initially, when people saw Steven's visuals, they're like, oh, he looks kind of off. And people actually basically made tips, like adjustments, like, oh, what you should change. And the developers actually took that and made the Steven model better. So now that the Steven model actually, like, looks pretty good and actually looks like Steven, which I was very happy about. So it definitely seems like the developers are good with feedback. I just think we have to start, we gotta start at least giving some of our opinions. And I guess I'll end this off with, I know of the rebuttal to many of, anytime someone gives any sort of negative thing about this game, the rebuttal is, oh, but this is not trying to be Smash. And I do get that, but it feels like there's a lot of things in here that has, like, almost fundamental design flaws in a 1v1 aspect. And even a 2v2 aspect, like the stocks. There's a lot of things, like minor things like that, where I think they should adjust, and I don't think that adjusting these things is going to make it too much like Smash. It still keep its identity, while also pointing out the flaws in this game. This game isn't perfect, but I am glad that it's being made anyways, because it's pretty hype seeing a lot of these characters in a platform fighter, so I'm at least glad this game's being made. My overall thoughts, I hope my mind changes on the closed alpha once I played it, and I think the reason why I'm doing this unedited is because I want to see my unedited thoughts once the closed alpha finishes to see if anything changes. So I'm going to make another video. I might even edit that one, actually, where I give my proper, like, my full thoughts on what changed, what in my mind has changed, or what the developers has changed, and just see how things go. But yeah, right now I much rather play other games, but I'm still interested to check it out. Oh, we'll see how it is. Alright, well, I guess that's the end for this video. If you guys like this video, like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. I have a lot of stuff in the work right now. I think I've recorded a lot of scripts for different types of videos, and you'll see, it's actually, like, there's a lot of interesting stuff. And sadly, I can't stream because my computer's broken. Like, if I turn it on, you'll hear it. It's like grinding noises and stuff. It's terrible. I really wish that my computer was better right now, but it is what it is. But once I fix my computer, I'll be back to streaming. Hopefully, I could get my computer fixed during this beta so I could stream this beta, because I really wanted to stream this beta just to give my live thoughts while I'm playing the game. But if not, I'll just record a video, because at least I can do that on my laptop. But I can't stream on my laptop, so whatever. Anyways, yeah, I guess see you guys. Peace.